Of that from the Treasury Secretary. Right now we want to talk to someone who knows how the Treasury in Washington works. Senator Rob Portman of Ohio joining us from Capitol Hill. He led the Office of Management and Budget under the George W. Bush administration. He also served as the U.S. Trade Representative. Welcome, Senator Portman, to Street Smart. Your reaction to this story and the potential of Treasury Secretary Geithner leaving the Treasury?
Well, it's a long line of economic advisors who have left the White House or left Treasury. Not unusual, I suppose. It's a high-pressure job. The key thing is that somebody replaces him, should he leave, who understands the importance of dealing with our fiscal problems and our economic problems. They are linked, and Treasury is the place where those things get linked. We need to be sure we have somebody who understands that it's the private sector, not government, that's going to create jobs going forward so we can get this economy moving, and understands the importance of dealing with the deficit precisely because it does affect the economy. So I'm hoping there'll be somebody that has a private sector orientation that comes on board that can help to work with Congress to solve some very big problems that face us.
Hang on, Senator. Have you got somebody in mind or a few people in mind? Is there a list that you're thinking,
well,
I'd like to see one of these guys?
What would be smart is to bring a CEO on board, somebody who's got business experience, somebody who understands, again, this important connection between policies and jobs and the economy and the fiscal situation. I'm not going to make a specific recommendation because I'll probably kill that person's chances of being considered. But I do think it's an opportunity for the president to reboot and to bring on some people that have more real-world experience.
Senator Portman, you might not give us your long or short list on a possible replacement for Treasury Secretary Geithner if he indeed leaves Treasury, but how difficult will a confirmation fight be in Congress for the next Treasury Secretary, considering all that's going on?
Well, Carol, it depends entirely on who it is. You saw today, perhaps, that General Petraeus was confirmed by the Senate. I think it was unanimous. If not, it was close to unanimous. Good candidates who come forward will be confirmed easily. I do think questions will be asked about, whether the person believes fundamentally in the private sector and the importance of creating more investment and more jobs and getting America back on track, or whether the person is going to fight, within the Oval Office and other circles for a bigger government role. And that's a fundamental difference, given our fiscal problems we face and given the slow economy and the economic recovery that's so disappointing. We need to have somebody who I think understands the importance of getting the private sector moving, and that probably is what people will look at.
Senator Portman, Hans and I were talking about it's kind of a question of when or if a debt deal gets done. Are you confident that we can do a deal on the debt ceiling before the August 2nd deadline? And what do you think it should look like?
I'm still confident. I think we have to be confident. I think the alternative is unacceptable. I think that the debt ceiling date may change. Friday, Treasury is going to come out with an adjusted date, I'm told, and it will be based on what they're seeing in terms of revenues and outlays. It's a moving date, always has been. But whatever that date is, whether it's August 2nd or August 15th or something in between, we need to get our act together before then. And the broad outlines, I think, are pretty clear. It needs to be a reduction in spending. It needs to be something that deals with the underlying problem that's gotten us into this situation. I do think if you look at what Standard & Poor's and Fitch and Moody's and others are saying, that is the fundamental problem. It's not so much a concern about default, although certainly that would be unthinkable should that happen. It's a concern about Congress and the president not acting during this debt ceiling opportunity to actually reduce spending. And if that doesn't happen, if there aren't commitments made, then I think we're going to get into a deeper fiscal problem, higher interest rates, the potential really for the kind of problems we saw in September of 2008 and maybe worse.
Senator Portman, just got about 30 seconds left here. How much pressure are you feeling from the news that we continue to hear from the ratings agencies about the rating here for the United States? Are you guys feeling that pressure here?
I am personally, and I certainly hope that other members of the House and Senate and that the president is. And again, if you look carefully at what they're saying, each statement's been a little nuanced, a little different, but these are warnings. Again, not so much about the debt limit discussion, but they're warnings about our fiscal condition. Fitch, by the way, I think was a little bit misinterpreted by some people to say that it was about default. It really was about their warning on what the credit rating would be for our debt was about whether or not we have the political will to deal with this huge gap we have, huge fiscal imbalance between our revenues and our spending. And that is the central issue. And I hope we can focus on that over the next 30 days, be sure that prior to whatever that August date is, that we have a serious proposal to reduce spending.
Senator Portman, we do need to leave it there. Senator Rob Portman, thank you so much for joining us here on Street
Thanks, Carol.
Smart. We
Thanks,
appreciate
Matt.
it. You bet. Take care now. We're going to head for a break. Coming up next, money market funds used to be a safe haven, but problems in Europe